Okay, so welcome everyone to the Journey Within online now. We're so blessed to have with us our guests today, Minister Colin Bates and David Schiesser. Both of them are international mediums, work with the Arthur Findlay College, have been coming to the Journey Within for years, and just are well respected mediums and friends, dear friends of all of us here. So we always begin our service with spiritual healing. So I'll start with a healing prayer, and then we would ask the healers and everyone present really just to send healing to the planet, to all of those that have been affected, to those who are really living a bit fearful at this time, to ignite in every individual here and across our planet the ability to awaken the healing within themselves. So I'll just start with a prayer. This is called the divine grace of healing. For it is with a grateful heart grace is found. May a grace of divine healing, love, and light permeate my soul, my spirit, and my body. From the depths of infinite wisdom and grace, allow my body, mind, and spirit to connect with all that is good. It is with a grateful heart that I welcome the divine spirit of healing into my life on all levels. Forever grateful for this healing in the name of divine grace. The love and the light of God surrounds me. Amen.
Amen.
And if our healers particularly come together, and for all of us to just send that healing presence that we know will be felt amongst us here as a group, out to those who are in need of healing, particularly this morning. And I'll just put on some beautiful music and we'll just go into the quiet for a little bit. We ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from our minds and our bodies and to restore us to perfect health. We ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and we will do our part. We ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. We put our trust in the love and the power of God. Amen. I'll just mention that the other morning I was awake at 3 in.the morning, so I put on TV news that I watch, and Deepak Chopra was on. And he mentioned that in as much we should be focusing on washing our hands and all this cleaning, that we also had to practice mental hygiene at this time. Because as we stress, and the more we stress, it hurts our immune system. And right now it's really important that we strengthen our immune system. So if you're really stressing out, try and go into meditation, go into beautiful music, go into something that lifts your spirits. So adding these things like meditation, yoga, beautiful music, nature, whatever it is that can take you out of that stressful place as we move forward and navigate the path of life at this time. So in Deepak Chopra's words, it's very important as well to practice mental hygiene. So we thank our healers for their service. And if there's anyone, we usually have the healing book in the back of the church. If there's anyone you'd like to email a name, we'll get that over to the healers, and the healers will pray for them as they do every day. We're going to move into our service at this point. We are very blessed to have with us our guests today, Minister Colin Bates and David Schiesser, and we would ask one of them to open with a prayer.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a pleasure and honor for us to be with you. So let us join in prayer. Just taking that moment, opening our hearts to the divine creative power that we call God. Because this power is the source of all there is. So allowing that heart to be opened. Divine creative essence, who we call God. We have gathered here online to worship what we believe to be true. That life, like light, is never ending. And here we are, reaching out in times of need. We are giving our thanks to that creative source of God, that we have gained that knowledge, that life is everlasting and never dies, that we can communicate with those that went before us. We give thanks for that knowledge, that we know, even in isolation, we will never be on our own, because those who love us prove every Sunday that they are still very much part of our lives. And in these difficult times, this knowledge helps us to exceed fear and loneliness, because we know that there is at least one person out there who still loves us, who still walks the path with us. So as we have sent out the healing thoughts to those in need today, including ourselves, of course, we are asking that those are covered in thy love, to be guided in the times of despair and fear, to also see the beauty which surrounds us, new life now starting to grow and show its beauty, which we call spring, because there is so much beauty all around us, and for that we give our thanks. We also invite those in the world of spirit now to join in, to bring the knowledge and wisdom to help us upon that journey that we call life, to give us insight and understanding, but also strength and hope to get through what lies ahead. Reaching out to those family members, friends, and those who still love us, and are still very much alive. To gather in that time where we call upon the communication from our loved ones. Surround us, support us, and show us that you are still very much alive. And maybe we're allowed to have a little bit of magic today while we commence with this service and hand it over in thy loving hands. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Our opening piece of music is Spirit of the Living God by Michael Crawford.
Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me. Spirit of the living God, fall fresh on me.
Hope you enjoyed that beautiful piece of music. We would now invite one of our guests to share with us the homily for today.
Well, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are within the world. How wonderful it is to come together at this time to really share the heart, to share the spirit, and above all to know that we are here for each other. We are moving through an extraordinary time within the whole of the planet, and how wonderful it is that we are able to begin to realize that once more we are reminded of the interconnectedness of life, that truly we are all connected together, that everything that we go through within our own individual lives and within the world itself is now touching and affecting each one of us. For me, this very much brings the spiritual principles of life into mind and into being, and to really remind each one of us of this wonderful creative force in which you and I have our very existence and are so much a part of, and its ability to go beyond time, beyond space, to the freedom of its expression. And that through our hearts, through our very thoughts, we are able to commune, to uplift, to strengthen each other through our thoughts, through the healing, and through this constant reminder that as we move through this time within our lives, that we are interconnected. I say that word again, interconnected through this great mystery of all life. We come together today, and indeed we meet through many different pathways that bring us into our own individual understanding of our own journey of life. And within such times, we have the opportunity to actually look beyond our own individuality, beyond our own friends and family, and look towards the greater aspect of life. And that is what affects every single person upon the planet in which we dwell. The power of the earth which supports and sustains you and I will always support and sustain us, as we are reminded of the strength that we have within us. Let us open our hearts and minds. Let us begin to use that limitless supply of love, of compassion, of understanding for each other's needs, and even of being there for each other. Many people throughout our world are moving into a time of isolation. Through this glorious gift of modern technology, we are able to still keep touch with each other. We are still able to speak with each other. And that is through this wonderful understanding. Yes, we live in this technical age where everything is governed through modern technology, but human kindness and that sense of love that we have for each other will transcend everything. For it is the power that keeps you and I together along this pathway of life. Each one of us has come into what I call a desire and an awakening to the spiritual purpose and potential of life, the very meaning of the soul and its journey, and that love, like life, is indeed eternal, has touched each one of us in some way. That has caused us to seek and to find the answers to life, to relationships, to friendship. And we are touched by this extraordinary knowledge that we really are interconnected, connected by the power that we call God. Call it however you will, whichever pathway leads you into unfolding your understanding. This great creative force that weaves its wonderful tapestry of life through the journey of each one of us brings this incredible compassion and love and strength whenever it is needed within our lives and within the very essence of everything that we are. And the spirit world continues with that incredible support and knowledge of the physical earth. For we are surrounded, you and I, by many within the spirit who have walked this journey before us, who continue their ministry of life through you and I. For within those quiet moments when we truly begin to embrace the essence of who we are, we touch and we blend with eternity. We begin to realize that we are more than the physical body, that we are surrounding ourselves, even within the very breath that we breathe. There is creation, there is goodness. Yes, at this time, we have to have separation in order to deal with everything that is happening within the world. But we must also remember that we are strong, that within our hearts, within our very being, is this limitless supply of light. Its healing, its compassion, its understanding of you and I is beyond everything that this world lives through. For it is the indomitable spirit of mankind that will always lead us onwards. And it is within such moments of strength that we draw upon the power of creation, that we learn and we are reminded that that power exists for you and for I and for every single person within our world. For it is the power of all life. It is the power to overcome any adversity that is placed before us. For it is the power that is called love. And love in its absolute is universal, has no boundaries. And you and I are a part of that love. And we celebrate that today. We celebrate the ability and the freedom to come together. And within such moments, we know indeed that we are loved. Through the power of healing that we move into through the heart, we are able to reach and touch every single person within our world. For there are many who are alone, afraid, and are going through many difficult times. And to know that we have this wonderful power within us is an extraordinary gift. We have come into a time of light. We have come into a time of knowledge. And above all, we have come into a time of need. Let each one of us meet the challenge. Let us embrace that which is before us in the knowledge that we stand firm and we stand tall. We come from a great lineage of pioneers who have given their lives, their strength for the belief within the spirit itself, within the freedom to worship, the freedom to be, but also to have the absolute, and it is a freedom to choose our own way within life, our freedom to find and to embrace that which is right for each one of us, to embrace truly the reality of our own living God. For truly it is you and I, and it is beyond anything of this life, for it is a freedom of expression that is continually seeking to unfold throughout life. And I know that as we move forward in time, the strength that we have for each other will be the power that overcomes all. And so do remember that within you is this inexhaustible supply of this wondrous light, this wonderful healing, this wonderful compassion. And through the embracing of the technological age, we are able to reach each other, even those within isolation, through the power of the voice, through the technology of the phone, even through the knocking on of a window, to let each one know that we are here, that we are supporting each other. And as we support each other, we grow within the respect of each other, within the compassion for each other, and above all, for the love of humanity. Let it be a time that brings us together, that brings us within the strength of the universal spirit of all life. For it is the power of all life that brings us together. It is the divine spark of you and I and every single person within our world. For it is the power of creation, of the earth, of the sea, and of the sky, and of the beauty which surrounds each one of us. Let it strengthen us. Let it renew our faith in the simplicity of life and within the journey of life. The spirit world has no physical voice. It cannot. It exists within the realms of light and mind. And so therefore is a vibration that is much higher than the physical life. And so when we move into a time of quietness, of prayer, our consciousness is lifted onto another level of experience, where we are then able to unite with the universal spirit of all life, where we are able to commune with our loved ones, where we are able to be supported, where we are able to be strengthened. And indeed, as we are strengthened, we become one with the power itself. And as we become one, our light, our energy becomes a part of that great work, that great pool of compassion and of love that can reach out to all those who seek and can find all those who need. For that is the true power of love. It is the power of you and I, and it is limitless in its ability, in its compassion, and above all, within the sense of unity of all life. I've often spoken of the age of technology, where we are beginning to lose the sense of the inner world and the inner power. I thank all blessings that we are of this technical age today, that we do have this ability to reach out and touch each other. But it has also, for each one of us, reminded us that we are also of the inner world, of the inner life. And that which we create through our thoughts, we are able to manifest. So let us all begin to manifest the healing and the peace that is needed to bring us together, to create the solidness and the healing, and above all, to embrace the sense of beauty and of life. For that is the true journey. It is the oneness, it is the unification of all life. For whatever pathway you may follow, whatever beliefs you may hold dear within you, we all come from that same great mystery of all life, the source of all life. May the power of all life bless, sustain, and support each one within our journeys of life. And may the blessings be with each and every one of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colin, for your presence and those beautiful, inspiring words. Usually in our ordinary service, there would be a collection. So we just put out there, if you have an interest after the service, you could go to the church website. And if you have $1 or $2, if you would like to donate, we would appreciate it. If not, it's all good too. I just found out the reason our number has been consistent from this week to last is we must max out at 100. So, because a couple people are just texting me that they couldn't get in, it's full. So by next week, we'll expand our capability to include many more people. So in the world of technology, we're learning as we go. Any of the events taking place in person at the Journey Within for the month of April will not be taking place here in person. We have expanded a vast amount of online presence. Couple things, if we took a big load of food and clothing down to the Kumak Center in Patterson, which is an even greater need. They're lacking volunteers and people bringing stuff. So if you still want to drop something off at the doors here, we'll get another trip down to Kumak and Patterson. Our Sunday services are online. Our Wednesday services are on Zoom now as well. Healing and demonstration of mediumship. Tuesday night is an open beginners service class. It's $10 if you'd like to join us for that. On March 26th, Pam will be doing a meditation for healing with chanting. There's no fee for that. Dr. Janet Nohavec has put in on Friday nights 3 different lectures you can attend. they'll be outstanding. So I've shared them, but if you go to her website as well, those are being offered. There's an online class with Reverend Joseph and myself on March 28th. When we should have been up at the Newark Church, all of the Hydesville events up there are canceled as not to congregate. As well, on March 28th in the evening, there's philosophy and cake, so we'll get together and have a lively discussion of things as well. On March 31st, which is Hydesville Day, that evening at 7:30, instead of the beginner's mediumship class, there will be a service commemorating the anniversary of modern day spiritualism. Bonnie will be joining us with tapping. Tapping is a form of reducing stress. It's more complicated than that. I can't explain it in the best little knowledge I have, but Bonnie is trained in tapping and a lot of children use it in school as well. It would be a helpful technique to move yourself out of that stressful place. So Bonnie, who's trained in that, will be showing us how to work with that. There'll be an optimist circle. So we're adding a lot of different things. If you go to the Journey Within under the special announcements and then to the events pages, usually if the listing, if it's a paid event, you go to that and everything will be advertised there as well. So lots happening for the community. Of course, our services as well. Stella and Stephen Upton will be with us at the next Sunday service. So we're grateful to them. They would have been here in person, but as we know, the world is such as it is at the minute. I can't think of anything else. We are here in the church offices. If you have private readings, those will still take place via phone. We are here, I'm here, Karen's here. The ministers are available if you need someone to speak with during these challenging times. And if you just need anything, call the offices, we'll get back to you as well. We're going to move into our demonstration of mediumship. We sing Where I Sit is Holy, which many of you know by memory, I have to say. So I'll just get that up. I'm trying the music a little bit different this week. I'm trying Pandora. Last week, based on your interconnection, it was good or not so good. So we're trying this week. Let me know if this was better.
Holy, holy is the ground, forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound, great spirit circles all around.
Now, everybody has a bit of a problem.
Holy, holy,
Holy,
forest, mountain, river,
listen to
sound. Great spirit circles all around thee.
what is holy, holy,
Body, thought, emotion,
holy.
Great Spirit circles all around me. What I do is holy is work and play together, celebrate
the day. Great Spirit circles all around me.
Their ashes is holy, holy is the ground. Forest mountain, great
Great
Spirit
circles all around me. Holy, holy, holy.
body, thought, emotion, connecting you. Circles all around me. What I do is holy, holy is my way. Work and play together, celebrate the day. Great Spirit circles all around me.
Where it is holy, who am I is holy,
What I do
who is holy,
goes all
around me. Listen to the sound.
circles all around me. Great Spirit circles all around me. Great Spirit circles all around me.
As we move into our demonstration of mediumship, as the medium begins to give out the body of evidence, you need to take at least 80 to 90% of what it said. And we would then invite you to put your hand up. And then I will bring in who has put their hand up. If there's too many hands that go up, we would ask for the medium to give us some more evidence that will narrow that down more. So I'm just going to move into our message prayer, which we have before every demonstration of the journey within. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I'm 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight. I am the soft star that shines at night. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. I'll introduce one of our mediums to begin the demonstration of mediumship.
Oh, me. Hello, everybody. Obviously, it's me.
Hello, David.
Isn't that nice? Okay, so let's go. And well, everything is an experiment. I'm very happy about having this opportunity to do this. Do you know, when I was sitting here, I'm very aware of a son wanting to get in touch with his mom. So I hope mom is now online. What I seem to feel with this son is he's not young when he dies, and because I feel him kind of mature. And when I speak about mature, he must have been later 20s or even beginning of the 30s. I also seem to feel a connection to military service, and I still want to be in the States with him. Can anybody understand son in the world of spirit, connection to military service, and wanting to connect with mom? Anybody understands that so far?
If you can understand, if you put your little hand up, if you go next to where your name is, there's an ability to put your hand up. Nothing so far,
Oh,
David.
well, that's a good start, isn't it?
It's all good.
Okay. If I'm really wrong with the age, please forgive me. But I just know I have a son here, and what I'm really feeling here is his being very nervous here within himself. So I know his passing was rather quick. So nobody understands a son in the world of spirit, kind in the age of, I have to say, it feels to me like 28 or something around there. Nobody understands that so far.
I don't have a hand up yet.
Okay.
Up. I do have I'm going to bring in Lori.
Laurie. Hi, Laurie.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So could you speak to us, Lori?
Could you hear me?
Yes, if you could speak up a little louder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can take the age of the man, but not about the relationship that you mentioned.
I have a second hand here, so I'm just going to bring them in.
So you wouldn't be his mom, Laurie?
No,
Okay.
And
But
Claudia,
you would have known this person very well.
yeah,
Okay.
excuse me, David, we have a second person.
Ah.
Claudia, what can you understand?
Well, I can understand the young man passing quickly, but the age is a little higher than he was when he was killed.
Okay, thank you very much. That sounds a bit better, but please listen in, Laurie. Do you understand the connection with mom?
not me, the mom, but I understand the
But the
concern
other person,
Claudia, we're going to speak with Claudia for right now.
Claudia,
Yes,
do you understand connection mom?
I am his mother.
Okay, thank you very much. Because he was so, and do you understand the connection to military service or being very, very, very proud of people going to service? Would you understand that, Monica?
He was not in the military, but his paternal side of the family has strong military ties.
Oh, thank you very much, because I feel his pride somehow to look after people, because his personality must have been kind of looking after people, wanting them to be well, but also protecting them. Would you understand that?
Yes, he did protect ones that he cared for, his friends.
Yes, I would say so. But also because you must remember that he was very protective of you personally.
Well, he was young, so I mean, did he love me? Yes, but
It's not what I said, but his sense of wanting to look after you is really, really great here. Would you understand that?
yes, I would agree.
Because I would so too, because there is this kind of, there is a cheekiness. I hope we understand each other. There's something, because the English, we have different words than the Americans and so on. Do you understand what I mean with being a bit cheeky, being a bit, there is this smile with a twinkling in his eyes. Would you understand that?
Yeah, so in America, we say he liked to bust people's chops. So you have
thank you very much. Because I find his humor really, really interesting, but I also want to bring back his maturity, because he feels older to me than he actually was when he died. So his mind was very, very, very wise. Would you understand that? There was a maturity within his thought system.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he's street smart. Yeah.
Well,
and he was smart. Yes, I would agree.
Well, I'm not wanting to go down that route, smart or not smart. Because I feel his eyes, because he has beautiful eyes though, And
Mhm.
when I look into his eyes, there is a depth within his eyes. So I know that he was a deep thinker, even though he might not always shown that to everybody. Do you understand that, please?
Yes, I would agree.
Thank you. Because there is this depth that you have in your eyes, and I know that, and I hope this is okay if I say that here so publicly. But there is a depth to your eyes at the moment that is a bit deeper than normally. Would you understand that?
Yes, I would agree.
And there is his eagerness to come and support you in this moment, because there's so much you're thinking about, and it starts to turn around a little bit in this spiral. Would you understand that too, Claudia?
Yes, I do.
And here he comes, because I know I'm speaking very quickly here. And I know it's like, I'm running out of time here. I'm running out of time here. Do you understand that with his passing as well, that everything went really, really quickly?
I would agree. Before his passing, it felt like he was running out of time. I would agree in hindsight.
Yes, because it's still the same. I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. But now he's really here to, I want to breathe again. Okay. So something that has happened did affect his lungs. Would you understand that too? Say no if not, please.
No, I don't feel anything with his lungs.
Okay, but would you understand that is like when anxiety hits you, you are not able to to breathe that deeply anymore. Would you understand that?
Mhm. Yeah, not physically, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
It's like there's so
Catch your
much
breath.
more to do. There's so much more to do. And
Mhm.
I'm running out of time. So I know that you sometimes feel you are running out of time and you have to do more. Would you understand that, please?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, yes.
It's good. Because it's like, oh, now I can breathe again. It's like, okay, there is enough time. And what he brings is the comfort that seems to be really, really important. He stands very strong next to you. So I know that he will always be part of your life anyway. And being there, being the strong one, I have to say. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. You can accept everything that I said so far?
I can, and it's interesting because his birthday was just on Wednesday.
Well, what can I should have told you that one, because it's like, but it's not the time for him to come and talk about himself. I feel that he really wants you to be aware of, listen, I will always be there, okay? And whatever is happening around you, within you, just breathe, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Just take the moment. You are not running out of time here, okay? So I
Okay.
hope this is meaningful. Good.
It is. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for working with me. Second one, is that okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm aware of a dad here now, and I know dad had a bit of weight, a bit more than I have, which is a good thing. But I also know with dad, his sweet tooth is it's really like, I know he shouldn't have eaten that, but I seem to just, the more I am not allowed to have it, the more I crave it. And it's like so naughty, but there is such a beautiful element to that, which you would go up the wall. I have to say, is the potential to really drive you up the wall and really make you like. And I know I want to talk to a daughter here, but also I know he wants to talk to his wife. His wife might not be online, so who understands that really the sweet tooth is what he says is really important, and not allowing anybody to interfere with his dietary, I have to say. Anybody understands that so far?
So if you can take this so far, we've got a couple hands, I have to say.
Okay, good. That's good. I'll take that. Couple of hands is good.
Do you want to give some more, or do you want to talk to them?
No. I want to give more, because he's a very chatty one, and I'm very happy to have a chatty dad for once. That is not test me first before he gives something. So this is really something special with dad. he just embraces everybody. He just wants to have the party going. And him being in isolation, oh, that would not be his thing, I have to say. I want to bring in the name of Ed because I heard the name of Ed. So somehow Ed is really connected here. But I feel this is kind of, because when I feel into this name, it makes me happy and is kind of a friendship. So I know with that dad, he loved his friends. He wanted friends around. And I see the barbecue. It's all about plenty here. Let's not save. Let's just do. Anybody understands that?
There's two people here. Do you want to speak to them now?
Who understands the name of Ed?
Two hands remained up.
Really? Isn't that awesome? Now wait a minute. It's just because he's fun to work with. And I know that he's very open-minded as well, because when I think him coming through to do a communication, spirit communication, it's a bit strange, because I feel that he wouldn't have believed himself, but he would have been open-minded. Does anybody understand that of those two people?
Well, you've got 5 hands up now.
No, 5.
Yes. So you have to get something to narrow it down.
Who understands Budweiser with your dad?
Budweiser.
Like Budweiser.
Well, if you can't take all of it now, including the Budweiser, if you could remove yourself,
Yes.
appreciate that. So we're down to 3 now.
Okay. Who understands the name of Alison as well? But Alison here.
If you can't take that, if you can remove your hand. We still have 3 hands up. So do you want
Really?
voices?
Yes.
Okay, we're down to 2.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to bring them in.
Yes, please.
Okay, so BJ, what can you take kind of quickly?
No
If-
one in.
If you can unmute yourself, BJ.
Sorry, I can take all of it.
How can
Ah.
you take it?
Okay. And the second person,
Let me bring them in.
just
I'm bringing them in now. So Jim, how can you take this?
I can take the Budweiser, the
Yeah.
Allison,
No.
the
Oh.
Ed, the being overweight, liking a sweet tooth or having a sweet tooth, and not wanting to have people tell him about his diet or what he should eat.
Thank you very much, Jim.
I
but
can
don't
take
wanna
all of
talk
that.
I don't want to talk to a daughter here. Sorry for that one.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Jim.
so much. Okay, BJ.
PJ,
Yes,
thank you very much. So you understood everything that I said?
yes, I will be his daughter-in-law.
Ah, okay. But would you understand he treated you like a daughter?
Yes,
Thank you very much, because that's important, because he didn't make a difference between in-laws and not laws. Do you understand that?
correct.
And you know what? I have to say, did you bake him cakes? Or who is the person who baked the cakes?
His daughter baked cakes. I baked pies.
Ah, that's awesome.
I'm
This is-
sorry, I was feeding the meeting.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome because he's just bringing that. I know that he thinks his daughter is still here, isn't she?
Yes,
Thank you very much, because it's so important for her to remember that that is really, really very much around. Would you understand that, please?
yes, I
That
would.
his thoughts go out to his daughter at this moment in time.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you very much, because otherwise it wouldn't. And it's like it's bringing this happy times, this, and I have to bring back his sweet tooth here. Whatever he could grab hold on, he would just have it. Do you understand that?
yes, I do.
But his health didn't actually they didn't really work together, sweet tooth and his health. Yes.
He was fine. It didn't bother him. It
No,
didn't
he
affect his
didn't
health.
bother about it, but his
No.
health would have been grateful if he would be a bit paced within that one.
Yes.
Because I just feel it. And what I also feel is doctors can tell me many things, but I do it my way anyway. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Because it's his smile is like, well, I know one should have listened, but he would not be the person who listens here.
Correct.
And you're about the stubborn one too, PJ. I don't know you, but I'm so sorry, it's him.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You're a stubborn one too, a little bit.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I'm
That's
really sorry.
okay.
He's just so lovely and straightforward. He would just say it as it is, yes?
Yes, he would. Yes,
Do
he
you
would.
understand that you got recently, and I'm not quite sure about from a doctor, but you were told something and you said, well, you can tell me a lot of things. I do it my way. Would that relate to you too?
Yes. Yes.
So that's my girl. It's like clapping. That's my girl. He wouldn't want it to be differently, I have to say. But on a serious note, I just want to bring my thoughts to his daughter again. Because obviously there is something going on where she needs to know that she's very much loved. Okay?
Okay.
I hope that
Thank
is possible or not. If not, then that's fine too. But just for him to be kind of remembered, because there is somehow what is needed, and I know at the moment it's not possible, but it's like this memory of the cake and whatever is related to that cake being together. And even you would remember him sneaking into the kitchen to see if the cakes were ready, because I can smell the baking.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm. And it's this lightheartedness that he wants to bring, and this family still sticks together. And I hope this is okay if I leave you that way. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for working with me. Lovely.
Thank you so much,
Yes, hi everyone. And
Colin.
as I was just sitting and really just becoming aware of the spirit, I need to speak to a lady. I know that I need to contact, it's either mother or grandmother. And what she's making me aware of is that you have a photograph of her when she was much younger. She was in possession of the photograph, and now you have the photograph in the frame. I also feel that as I talk about the family, that there was either a split in the family at one time, and it took her time to find her own peace within life. So the lady I want to speak to, you've got this photograph, but it was in your mother's house and you now have it. She's also a grandmother, so you have children as well. And I feel the very, very strong connection between the two of you. And I'm hearing the name of Margaret or Maggie seems to have some connection within some way. And I definitely feel that this is mother in the spirit world. So who can understand that information so far? You've got a photograph. Well, you've got many photographs, but there is a younger photograph of this dear lady in a frame, or she had it in a frame. And there's something to do with like a double frame where you've got two pictures that are actually very close together. I seem to feel that that's very much part of that and of the energy of that. I know my lady lived until she was quite an age. I feel also there was something to do with the clearing of the home, the sorting of things out. Really, that seems to be very much part of what she went through. I seem to feel that. But it's the daughter that she wants to talk to. Who can understand that? Sorting everything out of your mother's.
I have I have two people here. One of them, nope, I'm back to three.
Back to three, okay.
And one of them is a gentleman named Ken.
Okay, then this is fine. But what I want to say is, when I look at the photograph of this dear lady in her younger years, she's wearing a coat and she's got this shock of hair. This shock of hair. Beautiful she is, really. And I believe there was possibly two marriages.
So if you can't take that, if you can remove yourself now at this point.
So there's something between two marriages, either with her or with her daughter.
I'm going to bring Lori in.
Laurie.
There's a couple names, but I'll bring in Lori first.
Okay, then this is fine.
Hi, Lori. What can you take?
I could take all of it, but it's my grandmother.
It's your grandmother, dear one.
Yeah, I have the picture and she's got the coat on, and I know it was the second marriage, and I know Margaret is the daughter, so that's my aunt.
Ah, that's good, because I know that it connects to Margaret, you see, in some way. So if it's the grandmother, but so Margaret is the daughter.
Correct, yep.
Then this is fine.
We have
I
one
have-
other possibility here. Do you want her brought in?
Yes, we can do.
Okay, Modo, if you can come in, unmute yourself, or I can unmute you. What can you take, Modo G?
I can take it all. It would be my grandmother. Her
Yeah.
sister was Margaret. I do
Right.
have the younger photographs. She considered me a daughter. There was a rift in between my mother and my aunt right before my grandmother died. That was very upsetting. There was issues with
Okay.
cleaning out the house.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so if you both just listen and then you go like the yes or the no, and then that sorts it out here. Because what I really feel so very strongly with this dear lady is that she was such a foundation within the family and such a connection within the family. And she is greatly loved and she is greatly remembered within the family. I also feel there is a connection to a Harry in some way, Harry or Harold. That name seems to come around to there within some way. And the person that I want to speak to, your father must be in the spirit world as well, because I feel I've got father here as well. Who has father in the spirit who I'm talking to?
Not me, no. Lori says no. I don't have
No.
my dad.
My dad's
Sorry?
would be grandfather.
Grandfather for me as well.
It
Yeah.
would be grandfather. But if this is the grandfather, then he would have had a very strong connection to you within your life.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I want the position of father. I can't change that in any way. And I even want to go further with that and say, then your grandmother, you either stayed with her or lived with her at times within your life. Is that also right?
Yes.
Not for me, so I'm out.
Okay,
Lori,
then
yeah.
this is fine. So I know that I want a very good connection with my grandmother. I feel that it's the mother connection, but it is the grandmother. And then it would be the same with the grandfather. And I feel that she would have been a very strong influence within your life. Is that right?
Absolutely.
I'm also aware that she used to give you money
Yes, she did.
and she'd give it to you without telling anyone.
Yeah, she would do it on the side.
Because I feel as if it's like, don't tell your grandfather, and she seems to slide you some money.
Yes, she had her own little stash and she would slide it to
This
me.
is
Yeah.
beautiful, because I feel as if she's doing that today, as if she's saying, well, here you are. I know also that there would have been a lot of difficulties around the family, and there would have been a lot of things that needed sorting out. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Because I feel as if she was a kingpin within the family, and she gave you a foundation that was really a very loving foundation. And for her, it was very important having the family together, in some way bringing the family together. And you've carried on that tradition of trying to keep the family together, but it's not been easy for you. Is that right?
100% right.
Because she just seems to say here, just do your best and let everyone know that you're there, but it's time for you to live your own life now. Will you accept that?
Oh, yes, I agree.
It's time for you to live. It's time for you to experience. She is beautiful. She had a problem with her balance, that used to come and go. And so there'd be times when she was really strong, and there would be other times when she went through periods of illness. I really do feel that with her. And then I've got real problems with my legs towards the end of her life. But my goodness, she kept that sense of strength. She loved to hear news. She loved to hear what everyone was doing. The name John is also mentioned as well. Do you know John?
That's my son.
Sorry?
That's my son.
That's your son, because
Yep.
she's just talking about John, and I just heard love to John.
That's
So,
great. She
so
didn't
I,
get to meet him.
so I know that she's watching over everyone. And what is so beautiful is in England, in England today is Mother's Day, and I know that she's remembered like a mother. Will you accept that?
Yes.
She just said thank you for the flowers and thank you for lighting the candles. She said it means the world to her. She's very simply dressed, but I tell you something, when she went out, she looked $1,000,000. Do you understand that?
Yes.
She looked beautiful. There's very little makeup, but there seems to be a little mirror just near the door as she goes outside. And she loved beautiful coats. She loved beautiful coats. And she's so pleased that you actually have many of her things.
I do.
That you kept the sentimental things. She loved the things of the cooking as well, because I've got like wooden spoons and things, and they're all worn out, but they're treasures. And
Yeah.
she just says, you keep the treasures. Oh, there's a dog here as well. So I know there's been a dog in the family that's been loved. Is that right?
Yes.
Because, and it's just rushed in, so it's a mad one. It's not a quiet one. It's one that lives and is full of personality. Just bounded in and just wanted to come and just wanted just to say hello. She just says, I got my wish in life. I got the family that I wanted, and I got the family that I loved, and you are that family. And so there was parts of the family that was estranged. There was parts of the family that didn't meet, that didn't come together, but the ones that did, she adored. Will you remember that?
Absolutely. I
And
will.
she says, you are thought of far more than you will ever know or that you will ever realize. I know that I've got the father figure here. If that's your grandfather, then he also comes to say hello. And he just said, thank goodness I can get a word in. So I know that your grandmother was the personality of the family and that he would be a little bit in the background. Is that right?
Correct.
Because he seems to have this quietness about him and this gentleness. I like to see him work. I like to see him do things with his hands, and I like to see him out the back. So I know that he liked to potter around doing things. And he's just saying, come and see the birds, come and see the birds. So when you were young, you used to like to see the birds. Is that right?
Yes. He planted trees in the backyard for each one of the grandkids, and we would go sit and watch the birds in the backyard.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? So just know that they're all there, that they're all around you and supporting you. I know you've been thinking about your life and the journey of your life. And I just have to say to you, my dear, there is another story. There is another chapter still to be written. So you just keep going. Will you remember that?
I will.
And you take her love. I don't know if you've ever played bingo or your grandmother knew of the game of bingo. Do you know that?
Yes.
Because all of a sudden I just see all the numbers of the bingo and I'm winning. So look out for some good luck. She sends you love. Will that do? She loves music as well. Who loves all the dancing? Is that you?
Yeah, I like to dance, and they always had music on in their house. The radio was
Oh,
always
isn't that beautiful? Because all of a sudden I want to just start moving and I want to start just having some fun, and it's lovely. And then I smell the cooking and the trifles and everything. She was a whiz in the kitchen.
Yes.
But you have the recipes, don't you?
Yes, I do.
She says, you keep the recipes because those recipes are mine and we never give the secrets away. You keep them. Will you do that?
Absolutely. They're in
And
her original tin.
She has lovely writing because there's actually writing in the recipes. And then it's small words, but then she's got lovely little curly bits in her writing. And she says, you keep them. And she said, you keep me in your heart because I'm always there and I'm always with you. Is that all right?
Oh, that is more than all right. It's just absolutely perfect.
So many blessings that come there for you because I can feel it. The next person that I want to speak to, you know, something to do with Spain. I seem to hear somebody talking about Spain, somebody who either visited a lot or who lived there for a time and then returned home, or there was a returning home. And somebody's been talking about Spain. I feel that quite recently. And I've got a lady here, and she's a very seasoned traveler. She has no fear of the world, and I feel she traveled even on her own. She's very strong in mind, very short in stature, but my goodness, does she live, because she brings this extraordinary energy here. I'm seeing the name of Mary being called as well. I'm seeing it being called here, and well, hearing it being called, but then I see Mary, and then I see the ship Mary. Now, the liner Queen Mary is now docked somewhere, and it's either a hotel or you can visit it. So somebody knows something to do with Queen Mary, and that seems to come in here very much there as well. I want connections with the USA. I want connections with the Midwest, something to do with the Midwest, wherever the Midwest is, I have no idea. But the Midwest seems to come in here, there, within some way. And your mama's in heaven. Your mama's in heaven. And I feel that your father passed before your mother, and everyone thought that your mother would move into a time of quietness, but my goodness, it was the reverse. It's as if she started to live. She started to move. She started to experience. So who can understand any or part of this information? Seems to come in all different bits here. But I want mother in the spirit world. Father passes before mother. Mother is left on her own, but then mother starts to build, and then she starts to create a new life.
What can you take, Beth? Hello, Beth?
We have Beth, do we?
I traveled internationally. I'm short. I'm from the Midwest, but my mother passed away before my father, so that I can't take.
That you can't take, okay.
Mhm.
Because
And my grandmother's name was Mary.
And your grandmother's name was Mary. So just hold on.
Okay.
Just a little minute. So what you're saying is a lot of this information relates to the physical life and the physical world, and relates to you.
Yes.
Now there has to be this, so you're the one with the travel and the energy of the travel.
Yes.
But I have to stay with this. You sure there's no one else listening whose father passed before your mother, and then your mother started to travel, she started to go out, she started to really...
Mary, and we'll see what she says. So Mary, come on in.
I spent 2 years living in Chicago.
Right.
Before moving to New York.
Right.
My father passed quite young.
Right.
My mother did create a new life, always wanted to go doing things. And I'm trying to think what else you've said.
Well, that's okay, because I have to really stick with what I've got.
Okay.
And that is that the father passes before the mother. And
Yes.
then the mother, because I hear her voice, you see, and she says, everybody thought that I would just move into a time of quietness and widowhood. But that was not me. I was strong, I was determined, and I built a life, and I created a life. You understand that about your mother?
Mm-hmm.
Because
she created several lives.
Well, this is good, because good for mama. Because what I have to say is, in some way, your life has been similar in that your life could have stayed quiet and it could have stayed ordinary, but you've decided that you're going to build a life and you've created a life. Do you understand that in relation to you and to your life?
Yes.
Because it's really important here, because she is so proud of you that you haven't just allowed life to stop, that you've started to do things, that you've started to organize things. And I have to say, your mother had a blast. Would you accept that?
Oh, yeah.
Because she just says, life is for living. Life is for living. She says, and you need to start living, honey. You need to start living. You listen. And she was like this, and she would point with the finger at times. Is that right? Well, she's here, darling. She's here, and she's really on your case at the moment, that you mustn't stand still, that you've got to keep moving and you've got to keep living, because I seem to feel that. She must have lost weight before she passed. Is that right?
I wasn't with her, but I suspect she did.
Okay, because I just feel as if she passes with something that touches every aspect of her body, and that seems very relevant to her. Everybody loved her. She was very stylish as well, and she was very, very clear about having her hair the way that she liked to have it done. Does that make sense?
At the hairdresser every week.
Beautiful, because it doesn't matter whether you are a prince or a pauper, your mother would speak to them in exactly the same way. And I feel she knew people in all aspects of life. Your father is a handsome devil. Can I say that?
Okay.
Because I know that I want pictures of him when he is younger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have those pictures?
I have one.
Okay. And is it right with the hair back?
Mm-hmm.
Because
exactly.
Because I've got the hair back here, and there's something to do with his life ending suddenly. Is that right?
Over a period of 2 years.
Okay, because the ending seems to be quite sudden, because I feel as if I have life and then I have no life. There's a connection to Joe or Joseph. Joe or Joseph, do you know that?
Not off the top of my head, but that doesn't mean that I won't recall it.
Okay, well,
subsequently.
Will you just remember that I've said it?
Mm-hmm.
And your mother blows you a kiss. So she's blowing you a kiss from heaven, and she's really wishing you well, and she's really wishing you strength. Your papa is here as well, so he is supporting as well. Take all of their strength and all of their love. I hope that's okay for you.
Wonderful, thank you.
Beautiful. And really, your mother is just wonderful. Somebody used to play cards as well, because all of a sudden I'm dealing cards. Is that right?
Oh yeah, mother and grandmother.
Really, because and I tell you something, I'm really sharp with the cards. Nobody messes with the cards, and I'm turning over an ace. I'm turning over an ace. So I know that I could be a card sharp. I'm just I flicked it over, and then I was laughing. So I know that they played, but they played to win. And it's really very funny. So happy memories. So grandma's here as well. Let's bring her in to create the party and the healing of the family. Know that we're all here, we're all supporting you, and that you are beautiful. Will you remember that? And you are loved.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. That brings us to the end of the service. Just to announce as well, Stella and Stephen will be with us next weekend. We'll make sure that we expand the capacity of the room. Apologies to anyone that couldn't get in, and we'll post that as well. So please check out all the other things we have available just as a community basis under special announcements. Anybody's welcome from anywhere they are. And I cannot thank enough our guests today, Minister Colin Bates and David Schiesser. You are such a part of our community, and we love you.
We love you.
We really, our hearts and our thoughts are with all of you, and really just know that in our prayers, in our hearts, you remain ever and ever and ever forever there. We just love you.
So
hi to everyone for us.
Yes.
Well, if you could close with a prayer before we close with the song.
Okay. So as we move into the quiet and into the stillness, as we have opened our hearts and shared our thoughts today of friendship, of love and fellowship, infinite light of love and peace in whom we move and have our very being, may thy blessings shine forth upon each and every one throughout our world. May we know of your presence. May we know that we are loved. We give thanks for this eternal knowledge that love, like life, is indeed eternal, and those that are a part of us remain ever constant, ever near and ever dear, and a part of our eternal lives. Surround us with your love. Surround us with your blessings, now and always. Keep us ever safe, ever near, and ever dear to that love which is yours. Amen.
Amen.
So in memory today, we're having Love Lifted Me, which is by Kenny Rogers, who's moved on to the spirit world. And it's from the Muppets. So if you would like to unmute yourself and sing along, it would be kind of like a poor choir online, I have to say. Well, we invite you to sing along with this song.
Isn't that beautiful?
Did I hear you sing before?
Well, they would have done, yes.
Write myself a simple song. Along. I'll call it a love song for you. Who knows? Take a song from the Bible. And then when I'm through, I'll just sing. Take me. Everybody's looking for a way to say something that you say, but that's hard to do. Searching their mind, trying to find say something. I just was down.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Have a wonderful day and stay safe. And I know all of you join me in sending to all of those who are taking care of us, the nurses, the doctors, all those volunteers, for all of those people who are trying to steward us through this. We send our prayers, our strength, and wishes for their well-being as well. So thank you once again to Colin and David, and have a
Thank
wonderful
you. See you all
Love you.
again.
Bye.